Hi, welcome to another Chancellor Chat. I'm Allison Bell with WGU Indiana, and I'm so thrilled to welcome Teresa Lubbers, outgoing commissioner for higher education.
I'm getting used to that.
That's right, that's right. Thanks so much for coming to talk with us a little bit today.
I'm happy to be here. I think there are a lot of things for us to talk about.
I agree, always.
Yeah.
So one of the things I wanted to just start with you is to ask you, as you're moving on to what you do next, when you reflect, what are some of the things you're most proud of?
Well, I think we've really worked hard in Indiana to build a student-centered system of higher education where the institutions serve the students in differentiated ways based on their needs, and certainly WGU is a great example of that. But it used to be that, we sort of expected students to navigate this system and figure out how higher education could serve them. Now we really are engaged in building a system that really provides student success efforts. And we really had I think some great results with that. The way we fund higher education is based on outcomes now, not just based on enrollments. We're really working hard to build the value proposition of higher education so that at a time when we're telling people education is more important than ever, they can find ways to access it. And of course, a major component of that is affordability.
Right.
And we're engaged in some work right now to try to understand better why there is a disengagement from higher ed in many ways. And the number one issue that's cited is affordability. Again, WGU plays into that space. And really, Indiana has a good story to tell. I mean, we have continued, and I would say one of our successes has been to really preserve generous financial aid for students. We rank first in the Midwest and fifth in the nation in need-based aid. Out of the Commission's office, we distribute about $400 million a year to make sure that students, whether they're students leaving higher education or students returning to higher education, have a way to afford higher education. So I think that's been really important as well. But there are some looming challenges facing higher ed, and we have to be honest about those as well.
Right. So that was my next question. So what are some of the looming challenges? What do you think is the most pressing thing we need to deal with next?
Well, for whatever reason, there is a sense on the part of many Hoosiers that higher education is not the best pathway for them. And while I understand that there are reasons to be concerned, affordability, career relevance, all the reasons that we've talked about, it's a risky proposition to walk away from the promise of higher education when in a knowledge-based economy more than ever, your opportunities for career advancement and economic mobility will be based on some sort of education and training beyond high school. So that's the big value proposition issue. It is, if you look at how that is displayed, it's displayed in a lower college going rate. So we've seen significant declines in those who are choosing to go on to higher education. And when I say higher education, I'm talking about that in a broad way.
Right.
Quality credentials beyond high school. We've seen a 6% drop over the last 5 years, and we'll be getting new numbers, and it will continue to show a decrease. That trend had already happened before COVID, but clearly has been exacerbated because of COVID. And the question is, how do we get people back into the mode of thinking that, they're thinking about not just the next year of their life, but they're thinking about the next 20 years or 30 years of their life, and how are they going to prepare for those constant changes in the economy. So how we bring adults back and get them to sometimes finish what they started. And again, WGU was very involved in the work that we were doing, a lot of times for people who had some college and no degree, to get them to come back. Lots of reasons why the model that sort of was an important part of how WGU started here has continued to be really important in Indiana and across the nation.